Welcome to the tutorial video on how to use the link for the accompanying lab, Numbers and Operations Part 1, found in the Pre-Algebra Module 1. The description is that the object of this lab is to use a number line to assist in adding and subtracting integers. And I'm going to provide a tutorial on using this link right here found through Desmos. When I click on it, I'm going to get to this first slide right here. And what I'll do is I'll just briefly explain some of the ins and outs of these first couple slides. Actually, when you click on it, that balloon's not going to be there. So let me move that balloon out. So this is what you'll see when you first open up the website. And it says Introduction to our hot air balloon. We want to drag 3 balloons into the cargo and describe what happens. So the top 2 rows are balloons. The bottom 2 rows are sandbags. So if we're dragging the balloons into the cargo area, pay attention to what happens to the balloon. Notice if I remove the balloon, I add the balloon. Notice what's happening to the balloon on the side. If I add a second balloon, again, pay attention to what happens to the balloon on the side. You will repeat that process by dragging 3 balloons into the cargo and then describe what happens. Now, this next slide is a prediction. So it asks you to predict what will happen when you place 4 sandbags into the cargo. The bottom 2 rows are sandbags, and you'll notice that they're static. They don't move. Okay, I can't move them up. That's because you're making a prediction. Now the balloons, they have these little orange, to me they look orange, these little dots in the middle. They still are movable. Okay, so you can move them in and out. But remember, you're predicting what's going to happen when you place 4 sandbags into the cargo hold. Write your answer in the dialog box and press share with the class. This third one really will set up the game very nicely. I'm going to explain a small part of it, but make sure you do play introduction here because it's really going to explain the purpose of the next several slides. But what you will encounter is that there will be an obstacle you have to move the balloon through. You want to get the balloon to safely pass through this gate, and they show you the level of right here is at level 3. So you can add balloons and you can add sandbags into the cargo area to help the balloon pass safely into or through that gate. I'm going to type 0 right now, so I'll say I'm going to add no balloons and no sandbags. I click I'm ready because I'm going to test if I don't add any balloons or sandbags. What will happen is the balloon doesn't make it through the gate and we have an explosion. So I say to myself, maybe I want to add 1 balloon. The balloon seems to make it go up, so I'll change this to 1 balloon, no sandbags. I press I'm ready. The balloon still doesn't make it. So I click try again, and I repeat that process until I find the right amount of balloons and sandbags to add to get the balloon safely through that gate. I do want to point one thing out. Did you notice the blue arrow when I added the 1 balloon? Watch what happens to the blue arrow. Notice that the blue arrow is pointing at the number 1, and I added 1 balloon. There's a hint in there for you. Here's another challenge. Again, you're going to add balloons and add sandbags to try to get the balloon through that gate. So let's say I want to add 2 balloons. So I add 2 balloons. I'm going to put 2 balloons in here. I'm going to add 0 sandbags. I don't put 1 sandbag in. I think a sandbag will lower it. So I'll put 1 sandbag in. And I click I'm ready. Notice the blue arrow is pointing at 1. Did not make it through the gate. So I'll click try again, and I'm going to add or remove balloons and sandbags until I get the blue arrow or the bottom of the basket here to a point where I can safely pass through the gate, which is at level -2. The last slide I'm going to look at is settle dispute. In this one, we have 2 people. We have Marco, who thinks he should add 4 more sandbags to the cargo. Polo says that he can pass by removing 4 balloons from the cargo. So who is correct? So you can test this out by, it's a static picture. So you won't be able to move anything around. You just have to go ahead and make a prediction. So right now the balloon is at level 2 and the bottom of the gate is at -2. So make a prediction. Is Marco correct? Is Polo correct? Are they both correct, or are neither of them correct? So that's just a brief tutorial on how to get through the slides. As you go through this lab, you will be encountering very similar scenarios where you will be adding balloons and sandbags to the cargo hold to get the balloon to pass safely through the gate. I moved ahead up to slide 13 to explain a new phenomenon here, the numbers which are associated with the sandbags and the balloons. So this is called a puzzle, and it says, how would you solve this puzzle? A balloon with 4 is equivalent to 4 balloons. So we see here we have a balloon. This is equivalent to 4 balloons. That means this is equivalent to 7 balloons. This is equivalent to 5 balloons. And the sandbags you see have negative numbers associated with them. The purpose of this puzzle is that you want to get this balloon down here to get through this gate. So we're on Sketch Tool, which means you can add, okay, so if I want to circle a -3 and add it up here, okay, I can do a little bit of arithmetic to figure out, is that enough to get the balloon down here to a level where I have -7. So you're using the Sketch Tool to show your thinking, and you can describe your thoughts below. What do you need to do in order to get this balloon down here to a point where it can pass safely through the gate? Are you going to add balloons? Are you going to add sandbags? And remember, you already have an existing amount up here in the cargo hold. So you can keep that in mind as well. So that's our short tutorial. I purposely did not go through the entire lab. I want you to discover some things on your own, and I don't want to take that thrill away from you. But I at least wanted to show you some of the how-tos of how to navigate through this Desmos activity and have a successful experience.